What are your thoughts on Kyrie, who just apologized, by the way, last night? And it was, in my opinion, I loved it. It was beautiful, and I thought I would have said the same exact thing. But what are your thoughts?
Can so it's it's so complicated, right? You're not gonna get me to come out here and destroy this kid because the reality is he is an example. He is a microcosm. Some would say macrocosm, but he is a microcosm of something bigger happening to the world and young people. People now consume ideas and information as their truth. You understand what I'm saying, Fab? They Now you have this concept where the science doesn't matter, the math doesn't matter, the credentials don't matter. When someone with a PhD who studied certain topics all their lives comes and tells them, here's what really happened, right? And you 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 basically now have a society that has eliminated those people, have called them the elite. We can't trust them. We can't, you know what I mean? I have a godson that I've raised, right? I was just talking to Luke the Campbell, about him because when I was raising him, I was living in Miami, and I you know, his Luke's son played for the same Miami Lakes Optimist football team, right? And I was in his chat talking about this new way of thinking and the amount of people that just felt offended and mad, and I'm just like, look, there's the truth and then there's your truth, right? Find a way to get a consensus from smart people, and you know, my godson, I preach this to him all the time, and he does it. It's not the way they communicate. All of this new technology allows you to
Mm.
go into these silos of information where anything that's trying to inform you or teach you, or you understand, it's and then worse, and what makes guys like Kyrie get more ingrained. It's not that Kyrie's a bad kid. Where he grew up is all Jewish. It's Italians and Jews in Orange County, New Jersey. He couldn't have participated in anything without bumping into someone who was Jewish or having someone be Jewish that was influential on in his life. But he has created this identity, right? I don't like when they use the word woke because it's not necessarily woke.
Well, that
It's
turned into something else because it started off like as a kind of a joke. The third eye, your third eye is open, and you woke it, and now it just evolved into people getting pissed off, and then it became political once that happens. So it's not like I think Kyrie did wake up. That's his thing. Like he was a millionaire, and KD went through a similar process. But
Mhm.
I cut you off, but
No,
saying he's I think he is. This is part of an awakening. Like last night's apology was that. Like I don't know if you want. I'm gonna read it real quick.
mhm.
Let me share it. So he said, while doing research on YHWH, I posted a
That's
documentary that
Yahweh. Yahweh.
yeah, Yahweh. Oh, that's how you pronounce when he says it at the end.
Yeah, because the original Hebrew didn't have vowels. It was all consonants.
Right.
YW HW is Yahweh.
So while doing research on Yahweh, I posted a documentary that contains some false anti-Semitic statements, narratives, and language that were untrue and offensive to the Jewish race religion. And I take full accountability and responsibility for my actions. I am grateful to have a big platform to share knowledge, and I want to move forward by having an open dialogue to learn more and grow from this. So all Jewish families and communities that are hurt and affected by my post, I am deeply sorry to have caused you pain and apologize. I initially reacted out of emotion to being unjustly labeled anti Semitic instead of focusing on the healing process of my Jewish brothers and sisters that were hurt from the hateful remarks made in the documentary. I want to clarify any confusion on where I stand fighting against anti Semitism by apologizing for posting the documentary without context and a factual explanation outlining the specific beliefs in the documentary I agree with and disagree with. I had no intentions to disrespect any Jewish cultural history regarding the Holocaust or perpetuate any hate. I am learning from this unfortunate event and hope we can find understanding between us all. I am no different than any other human being. I am a seeker of truth and knowledge, and I know who I am. None of these media members talk like this.
Right,
Nobody who messes up talks like this.
right,
This is one of the
right.
most, I don't care what anybody says.
And that's the tragedy of it all, is that we have this new way of judging things where it's static, where we are condemning people 100%. Now, you know my history on Kyrie's topic. I've said 100 times the reason why you can't trust Kyrie is because it's always going to be something. It's always going to be something. But at the same time, I recognize, yeah, he's 30, but 30 is still a young man. And young men change, they evolve, they get better. And now that he's given his apology, which is late, which is, after being insensitive and causing more damage to the team and to culture, period. Even the culture that he supports gets hurt and gets branded with these type of anti-Semitism conversations. Sometimes the things you support can destroy the things that you're trying to move towards. But at the same time, the media uh, said they were looking for an apology. He gave an apology. It was an eloquent one. It was deep. Was it heartfelt? We never know. None of us have a heart meter to test that. But he's done that part, and I think it's a shame. And it just goes to show how uh just cynical our society is, that they don't believe that this person can become better. Obviously, he's on a journey to learn things, right? Miss He's got a lot of misgivings. I don't agree with most of that stuff historically. And you know I've been vocal about it, but I want us to be the type of people, or the type of society, to be able to look at something like this and go, you know what, that's just a mixed up kid, and he could do better, and he could be better, and allow him to be better. The reason why it took Kyrie so long to get here is because of identity. It's because of, I don't want to be seen, or people being stuck with 10 toes down where they are. Now he's gotten punished enough to at least move to this direction, to say he's sorry. Why not let why not the reciprocation be, all right, we're going to accept your apology? But no, people, we're all motivated by our reptilian brain. That's our cerebral cortex. That's the core of what makes humans who they are.
Right.
Anger, fear, all those things are our natural state. And because the technology makes it so easy for you to express yourself, you get stuck in your reptilian brain. That's why people go to different sides. That's why people can't communicate. That's why people get stuck where they are. So if you're still mad at Kyrie at this moment, then you never really was about the stuff that you were mad at Kyrie about in the first place.
Exactly. Exactly. And I think he's always shown, not always, he messes up and there is an antagonist side to him, because you have to kind of be that when you're seeking knowledge. And like we said, like we just talked about, we'll argue a room down about whatever we feel. I could be wrong. That's how I start everything. Like, oh, I should end everything. I could be wrong. Like, I don't mind being wrong. And a lot of times you need your ego to, like, and you don't realize it's your id, it's your ego pushing you to focus on whatever it is. And with
Correct.
Kanye, we see it went out of control. With Kyrie, we've seen instances where we knew he kind of messed up with Cleveland. What does he do? Years later, he says, he calls back LeBron. He's like, I have to call LeBron. Like, I knew I messed up. Like that,
Right.
to me, I don't see other people doing that again. And I'm not trying to forgive him for everything. I'm not saying he's perfect, but again, we don't have people saying that enough. And the fact that he's saying he's learning in real time, you know what I equate this to? Like you just said, he's learning, right? If he's learning, think about being in class. There's a reason why there's certain kids that they're just shy. They might know the answer, or they're just in
Right.
the middle of being intellectually curious. They're going through this
Right.
process. They don't want to raise their hands. So when a
Mhm.
teacher forces them to answer a question, sometimes they're not necessarily ready. They might get nervous. The anxiety might kill them. So he's
Mhm.
dealing with that in the middle of an apology, and a media member yells out, "Are you an anti-Semite?" Like, what kind of a question is that? In the middle of me saying I'm totally against I'm a lover of all people.
Right.
Hitler didn't talk like that. Like, you
Right.
know what I'm saying? Like, these people didn't talk like that. And I think, again, yes, I don't want to throw him any bail in that scenario. He should have made last night's apology was 8 hours too late.
Right.
But again, go ahead.
And you know I'm critical of Kyrie, right? And because I'm critical of him because of his potential to be so much better and to be a leader of men and cults. I'm not it, his fan base or his stands aren't necessarily a cult, but it has cultish features
They
to it,
are. They are.
right?
LeBron, so
You
is Steph Curry stands. Same thing.
you could do so much better for the people who follow you and care about you by being thoughtful and correct.